Okay, let's do it. Let's continue on with the submission tier videos this week here on DSP versus the Internet, episode 78. What's next? Well, we already saw this one. Oh, never mind.
I don't want to tax the
Hold on. Hold on, because it's too loud again, right? What is going on with these videos? Their volume is literally all over the place. It's way too loud. I gotta lower it again. Fallout 3 intro, but it's Brainrot. Okay. Oh, this has subtitles. Okay. Phantom? What is Phantom?
I just want a shot to raise up your yacht.
Oh my god. Oh, it's terrible. Oh my god. This is not good. Be the next big VTuber. This is the stupid bus from Fortnite. Wow. And it's stupid Among Us. Oh my god.
Deadass. War stays the same. On God.
Wow.
Since our step ancestors first discovered the rising power of Instagram and TikTok, Nut has been bus in the name of everything.
Oh,
from Gaia
no.
to Hawk Tua to simple gamer rage. Mankind's goonish nature couldn't lock
The
them,
AI.
as the world
They used AI to have the actor do the intro again. Oh no. Skibbity toilet. Oh no.
flushed down a skibbity toilet.
Oh.
Thousands of incels spared themselves from having to touch grass by taking refuge in enormous underground shelters
Wow.
known as echo chambers.
Ron Perlman, that's who
It
it
is
is,
here
yes.
you were put on. It is here you will eat a grimace shake.
Here you will eat
Because
a
in
grimace
Echo
shake.
Chamber 101, no one ever thinks. And
Oh
no
my
one
God.
ever touches grass.
Wow.
Oh, finally, it's out. Can I start vaping again now?
Let's see.
Wow.
Are you a Rizzler or a Giat?
Oh no. Boy, are you boy or are you political? Wow.
A girl? Did you really have to go and bus out a girl, Catherine? Just
Wow.
seems a little political to me, not gonna lie.
James, can you please not be a cringy loser for 2 seconds? I just crapped life out of my front trunk. Cut me a break.
Wow.
So cute. You're gonna cop me a ton of likes on the gram, no cap.
This is killing me.
No
Catherine.
cat.
I really wish you had shaved your bush before this. The baby is
Come on.
covered in rug burn.
No.
Come on.
That's because you insist on handling her with Gucci gloves instead of latex.
Gucci glove.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
That's a good name, don't you think?
It's not.
Fits you perfectly.
It's
It
not.
doesn't.
Looks like FaceApp is finally loaded. Let's see what you'll look like with the age-up filter.
Don Cheadle, Mexican, the model minority were whitey. Wow. Okay.
You're going to look a lot like your Discord daddy.
I nearly had a C-section because of the big-ass nose she got from you. You look like a fucking nose.
Is he like the Joker? This is a long video. I want to fast forward a bit.
Hey there, kitten. Not gonna lie, there's a beta out here who went to sleep after hugging Daddy's car a little too hard. Now, some simps out there might call Daddy a criminal, but you know what the Bible says about this? Rizzolation 420. I am Alpha and Sigma, the Chud and the Chad.
The Chud and the Chad. Someone says go to the most watched part. What's the most watched part? Oh, I missed it? Okay, it's the book. The special book. Okay, let's see what that is. The special book.
Real quick. Now, Daddy's gonna go pick up some milk and cigarettes. Don't worry, I'm just right over here in the next room. I'm not going anywhere. You just keep reading, kitten. Daddy will be back ASAP Rocky.
Your special.
Promise.
Daddy will be ASAP Rocky? What the fuck? Oh my god. S is for skibbity. That means I take no cap. I fill my toilet to the rim full of crap. Very nice. Maximum skibbity. P is for peep. A fun word to say. It means I can spot a yacht from miles away. Wow. E is for edge. That's how long I can boom. I can go I was reading that. I was reading that. That was very, very rude to turn the page right in the middle of me talking about that. C is for chariz. I shine like light in a prism. My riz exists to mask my crippling social autism. Ooh. Ooh. Why did they skip it so fast? I is for inters who piss me off in games I play. I'm a loser, so I dox them and say it's wrong that they're gay. Wow. Wow.
Not my fault. You came out of nowhere.
A is for Ayo. It's how I call for attention. I need others for validation and get upset when I'm not mentioned. This is pretty messed up.
Real. It's okay. I'm a doctor.
L is for L take. It stems from poor mental health. I never go touch grass and cannot think for myself. Why did they get Keemstar on the left for the L take? That's kind of messed up. I'm not like, no, literally, that's Keemstar. He's not wearing a hat, but that's totally him. He's completely bald. He has an insanely fake looking beard, completely dyed. Like, what the fuck? Holding his L take trophy for King of the L takes. Wow. That's fucked up. All right. I think we've had our fun with this one. We can go to the next video at this. Well, you know what? Let's fast forward a little further. Let's just go forward to here. Okay.
Again, and you've been ordered to get him out. What's your strat?
What's your strat? Use your micro penis to pick the lock on the door. Oh my god. Ask the old head ass if she has games on his phone. Skip the question to browse TikTok for a bit. Or I'm a head out. Wow. Well, I definitely recommend you guys should watch the whole video. It's pretty good, huh? It's pretty good, but this is a clip show and we got to keep moving. But that's a good one. All right, good submission.
Making a sub sandwich at home is not really even cooking. It's just assembling stuff. But why does the local deli, places like Wawa, or even...
By the way, the volume sounds good, guys, because these videos are jumping all over the place. This is a good question. Why, when you go to the deli, do the subs taste better than when you make them at home? That's a great question, and I'd love to have an answer, because some of the sub places now, the prices are exorbitantly high, but man, the sandwiches taste so good, right? So let's find out.
Even grocery stores like
sounds perfect. Everyone says sounds perfect. Thank you.
Publix, where we have all the same ingredients, make subs or hoagies that people swear by. Well, today we're going to cover these 6 key sandwich tips that we can implement at home. Internet Shack helped us out with burritos, so I thought I would pick up the baton so we can all make better deli-style subs this summer.
Okay.
So the 2 keys that I look for in a great sandwich are, firstly, it's got to be well seasoned but balanced flavors, and then secondly, it's got to have a satisfying texture. You know, as I bite through this, I want the chewiness from the bread, the satiation of the meats, little freshness and crunch from the vegetables, and then the sauces kind of help lubricate and tie everything together.
That's right. When you bite into a really good hoagie sandwich, you're getting an experience. Like if you eat a burrito and it's just a bunch of gooey shit, it might taste good, but it's not when you're biting into that sandwich, it's an experience. You're feeling all these different textures and things as you're going through it in the bite. He's absolutely right.
So we're going to start at the top with the bread choice, because all of these guidelines or tips, if you want to call them that, kind of build on each other, and then I'll meet you back here for the taste test. Let's break it down.
Without good bread, you cannot have a good sandwich.
This is what pisses me off, because the kind of bread that they sell or have at like a good sandwich shop, like for example, Jersey Mike's or like Firehouse Subs, they have really good bread. Quiznos has good bread too. You can't buy that bread at the store. You go to the grocery store, do they have that shit? They don't have that. You can't buy that. Why not? Let me buy the fucking bread so I can make the sandwich at home. They don't sell it. You end up with this shitty, generic, flavorless bread that they mass produced, and it doesn't taste good. It never has the crunchiness on the outside, the chewiness on the inside. It's not the same consistency. It's not the same flavor. It pisses me off. You cannot go to the grocery store and get that level of bread, so you can never make a sandwich as good as what you buy from one of these bakery places, you know?
And in my opinion, for a deli-style sub, the bread should be a long roll that is soft yet chewy and is sturdy enough to absorb some moisture from the sauces, vegetable, and all those meats and cheeses that we're going to pile on.
That's the other thing. Like, a lot of people swear by certain breads, but it's like, yeah, but as soon as you get like a good dressing on the bread turns into like mush. You got to have a bread that has thickness and consistency in it. so that when you bite or when you put the dressing on it, it doesn't become like a sponge of mush, and when you bite into it, it doesn't disintegrate, right?
Now, if you have a sub roll that you love from the
Funky Monk, thanks for the super chat. He says, I'm a new fan. Keep doing you, Phil. Thank you, Funky Monk. Appreciate that.
grocery store or a bakery, by all means, that is way easier. Just buy it. But for me, I do take the effort to make some.
Well,
I take my standard hoagie roll recipe from the video I did a while back, and this time around, I did some Italian herbs over the top before baking them.
right. Just season the bread. Most of the bread you buy at the store is so bland. It's so bland. Like, give me a good roll. A good, hard, crusty roll. Crusty on the outside, maybe even with a little bit of a glaze feeling to it. On the inside, it's chewy. You can rip it apart like this. It's so good. Why can't you get that bread from your local grocery store, right? You just can't. They don't have it. Derek, I'll see you tonight. Sounds good? PS3 Troop says, some supermarkets have Bakery Fresh bread delivered. I have a supermarket where they do have a lot of bread, and sometimes they have really good stuff, but never something like this. Seriously, they just don't have this level of bread, and it pisses me off.
What results after baking is a beautiful bread that is ready to accept our meats and cheeses. I also did 2 hoagie rolls where I subbed in 20% whole wheat flour, which yields a slightly denser and chewier roll.
Yeah.
Great subs start with great
Look
bread.
at that. Look at that. A copious helping of meat, and it looks like is that like salami or ham? It might be ham. It must be ham, turkey. Looks like a good, like, is that a provolone or Swiss cheese? Can't really tell. And then you got your tomato. Honestly, you should have more. Oh, I think I see some lettuce in there. Lettuce and tomato. And then a good amount of dressing on both top and bottom so you get it in each bite. Yeah, see? You got to have those layers. That's a good sandwich right there. This is making me hungry. Looking at this. That looks good, man.
But this is basically just the prerequisite. Let's get into the meat of it
Ooh,
with number
roast
2.
beef.
Lubricate this sandwich well. Dry sandwiches are the worst, and to make a great deli sub, it must be lubricated appropriately.
Yes.
And I'm saying lubricants instead of condiments or sauces, because by lubricants, I mean anything that provides moisture to the hoagie. This could be, yes, the condiments and sauces, but also the meat choice, the fresh vegetables or pickled vegetables that you use.
Yeah.
As far as sauces go, I think at the very least, some should be put on both the bottom and
Yes,
top piece of bread.
I agree there.
And then for the meats, maybe if it's a little bit of a drier meat, you put some mustard in between the turkey and the pastrami like I did on this one.
That's interesting. I never tried that before. Putting it between the meats.
Now, on the other hand, sometimes you do want to limit the moisture, so you need to be conscious of this as well. For example, vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, or pickles have a lot more moisture, so maybe we need to dry off that excess instead of going straight from the jar and ending up with a wet, soggy mess.
Very, very good point. Give it a shake. Give it a shake. Get all that water off of it before you toss it onto the sandwich. Sure.
A well-lubricated sandwich improves both the texture in the mouthfeel as we chew it, and then maybe even more importantly, the lubricants help transport flavor compounds, which brings us to tip number 3, fat carries flavor.
Yeah, sure.
Very important here. As Samin Nosrat points out in her book, fats coat the tongue, allowing various aromatic compounds to stay in contact with our taste buds for longer, which intensifies and prolongs our experience of various flavors. Simply put, fat carries and intensifies flavors. And here's a little experiment for you. I made a basic submarine vinaigrette with 30 grams of olive oil, 15 grams of red wine vinegar, some dried oregano, red pepper flakes, garlic powder, a couple cranks of black pepper, and some salt. Then I made another one, except
They usually don't do that. At the sandwich shop, they'll do the oil and vinegar and then salt and pepper on top. And they usually consider that the standard they would put on every sandwich. And then you have the ability to ask for mayo, mustard, maybe a chipotle sauce, barbecue, you know, things that they have as additives to the sandwich. Some of them already have pre-established mixes that, you know, like this sandwich comes with this special sauce because it goes with that sandwich better.
except I used 30 grams of water instead of the oil. You take a piece of bread and dip it in both, and it's insane how much better the one with oil is.
Look at that.
The fat lingers in the mouth, and you can actually taste the oregano, garlic, and pepper. It enhances it instead of the one made with water, which, well, tastes watered down and diluted. Now, before you get heavy-handed with the mayo like some deli spots do, you don't have to go overboard. Just adding a couple drops of fat, like from this vinaigrette, will help amplify the sandwich. And another couple of my favorite ways to use fat on a hoagie are, number 1, mix mayo with aromatics, herbs, and spices.
I've never done that, and maybe that would be really good. Again, that's something they don't do at a sandwich shop. They're just going to give you the plain mayo, right?
And this one was mayo, a clove of garlic, tossed in some minced basil, and a bit of lime juice.
Sounds
and it paired
good.
perfectly
I'm Italian. That shit is all good to me. Like, I love that stuff.
well with an Italian hoagie and helps
There you go. I just said, I'm Italian, and he goes, yeah, it goes well with the Italian hoagie. Exactly right.
transport those flavors throughout the sandwich. Second, you can try dressing your vegetables with a vinaigrette. So
That's
instead
cool,
of adding
too.
that
That's actually probably what most people would do if they go to the sandwich shop, because they're going to put the oil and vinegar and then the salt and pepper on top of the veggies, so your veggies get dressed like a salad before they put the top on. So even though he's pre-mixing, they definitely wouldn't do that at the sandwich shop, but they kind of do that on the bun itself, right?
I think there's 4 main methods of seasoning your vegetables when it comes to sandwiches, and these are salt them, dress them, pickle them, and roast them. I hope most of us have tried a salted tomato versus an unsalted one at
No, I don't think I ever have. I don't think once in my life I've had a salted tomato. Seriously. I wonder what that would taste like. Probably good, right?
this point, but also adding a sprinkle of salt to some raw lettuce or onion too can have a nice effect that rounds out a sandwich. There's a reason why most deli spots ask if you want salt and pepper on your hoagie.
Right.
It really works. Now, if you don't want to add plain salt to your vegetables, try placing salty chips underneath them.
I never tried that either, only because I feel like that would be messy, because then you're biting into it, and when it crunches, it becomes crumbs. It's going to go everywhere. I mean, a sandwich is already messy enough. Do you really need pieces of chip flying all over the place too? I've never tried that.
It's a delicious and crunchy way to make those vegetable flavors pop. Like I just mentioned, dressing them is a perfect way to bring those flavors to your taste buds. And just looking at this, I'll take a layer of this dressed lettuce and onions instead of just regular raw lettuce and onions.
Okay, what else does you say here? Hey, what's this? Craft it thoughtfully.
As far as meats, cheeses, and vegetables and condiments go, we pretty much have access to all the same ingredients, or in some cases, the deli meats we get at the grocery store are even better than some chains. Looking at you, Subway. So how we construct them should be done with some thought. My basic...
I like that he just freaking... He felt it Subway, because everyone knows Subway meats are terrible. They have, like, almost no flavor. I still remember when they first came out with their chicken that wasn't sliced, but it was the chunks. And you get a sandwich with the chicken, and if you didn't completely cover it in a condiment and you just eat that chicken, I kid you not, it tastes like you're eating nothing. It has completely no flavor at all. So
blueprint starting from the bottom roll is this: bread, sauce, meats, more sauce, optionally, cheese, chips, if you're adding them, vegetables, sauce, and bread.
I can see that, except I've never had the chips. But here you go. I should make... Brian S.G. says, make your own hoagie and call it the Hogan. Here you go. The Hogan Hoagie. Wrap it? Now, why does he think wrapping it would help? I'm curious about that.
Wrap it. This may seem superfluous to do at home, but wrapping the sandwich does a really cool thing. It applies even pressure all around the sub, and the benefits of this are: 1, the texture is more cohesive; 2, we can add more stuff inside without it spilling out; and 3, the lubricants can go to work transporting the flavors.
Okay, I get it. So number one, those, like you said, the lubricants are going to absorb into everything. Rather than just being on top, it's absorbing into everything else in the sandwich. And number 2, it compacts it. So now it's easier to eat, and you're getting the right bite. That makes sense, because when you make stuff at home, you're not wrapping, you're not compacting it. So it kind of is messy, right? So this would make, yeah, all right. Man, maybe make some subs, make them in batches, right? And you can eat them over the course of a couple days. Just leave them in the fridge. Wrap them like that. That's actually maybe a good recommendation. I think I like that. All right, I think we have time for one more video before we split the part here. So let's see what's the next one.
If you're playing games on a computer,
25 free PC programs every gamer should have in 2021. Well, this is 3 years outdated. Let's skim through a few of them.
There are a ton of essential programs. At number 25 is Patch My PC or Ninite. These programs allow you to update or install a lot of essential programs at once, and they're also really great for quickly setting up a new PC. This will get you pretty much everything you want right out of the gate. A lot of the programs listed here aren't exactly PC gaming specific, but a lot of them are really useful for the day-to-day stuff you'll do on your computer. Both Ninite and Patch My PC are widely recommended. They're both fine to use. Ninite's very simple, while Patch My PC is a little little bit more granular. They both have upsides and downsides, so check them out, see which one you prefer, but it's a really useful program.
And
number 24 is OpenRGB, which setting up RGB lighting for your computer.
All right, I'm not using OpenRGB. I'm using Signal RGB. That's what was recommended to me. I love it. It was the original program I had was very basic and didn't have many options. This one is insane. Right now, I'm using Fish Tank, which looks blue like the lighting I have behind me, but alternates with some white, orange, yellow flashes as if fish are swimming through it. It looks amazing. So I recommend Signal RGB, but I've never used Open. Maybe this is good too. I don't know.
Computer can actually be pretty annoying. Seems like every manufacturer and developer out there has a different program with different settings, but OpenRGB can make adjusting your RGB lighting a lot easier. It's open source, it's not proprietary, and it works with both Windows and Linux. And it's got a really simple interface, has a low overhead, it's really easy to use. But be sure to check the supported devices list before you attempt to use the program, because certain hardware will not work with it. And number 23 is GOG Galaxy, a useful.
I'm using that right now. I'm using that for Fallout 4 so I can play Fallout London. I will likely be using that more in the future for other games as well.
And number 22 is KeePass. It allows you to store passwords so that it autofills. Very handy dandy for dealing with the many logins that you have to deal with if you play a lot of online games or use one of the many launchers that publishers force on you. There are a lot of different versions of this type of software out there, so do your research.
So basically, it saves your passwords and auto-populates so you don't have to memorize them. But at the same time, is that really that good? Because you want to do that? Aren't you afraid you're going to forget your passwords because you have something doing it for you? I understand ease of use, but I like to remember the passwords for myself so that way I don't screw myself over, you know?
And number 21 is WizTree. This is a Windorstat alternative, which if you're unaware is a fast and easy way to clearly see what's taking up so much space on your hard disk in a visual manner. Because space management is always a huge issue for gaming, you know, like file sizes keep getting bigger and bigger, this is a really useful thing to have around. Windorstat is actually more popular than WizTree, but at this point it's very slow. It still works, it's a fine program, but there are alternatives, and WizTree is generally the one that we think is the best. Try it out and you'll see exactly why.
I think that's cool to be able to visually see it, what is taking up how much space. That's pretty good. And you could sort by that.
I would say that. At number 20 is X-Link Kai, a pretty cool program that allows you to play LAN-enabled games online for a lot of consoles like Xbox, Xbox 360, GameCube, PS3, and even PS4. Like, for games that have ended online support, this is really good because this program lets you get online and play with your friends for games that you just wouldn't normally be able to. It's entirely peer-to-peer, so getting it all set up isn't the easiest, but you'll be able to play classic Halo online with your friends.
I remember back in the day, trying to do online emulation of, like, you know, arcade games, stuff like that. The peer-to-peer stuff could be pretty annoying. So that is kind of a little annoying. I received a $10 tip. Thank you so much to Tarantula MS. What's going on, Tarantula? He says, hey, Phil. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you, Tarantula. The king's coffers grow ever affluent and overflowing. Thank you so much, Tarantula. Wow. So, guys, how about this? We got one part left of DSP versus the internet coming up. Let's hit $200 in the King's Tax goal by the end of the stream. I know we could do that. Let's hit it. Let's do it. Let's hit that solid round 200 to end the show. Sound good? All right. I like this video. Only the problem is it's so long. Like, disable sticky keys, dude. Yes, that happened to me the other day. GeForce Experience. I think I'm using that now. Actually, it's the NVIDIA Experience. That might be outdated. AMD Real Live. Well, I don't have an AMD. Light screen.
Number 16 is Lightscreen, which is useful software for taking and processing screenshots. It takes a lot of the tedium out of sorting and capturing them as well. It works in the background where you just configure where you want your screenshots to go and what you want to do with them. It's a great option for any video game meme makers out there who don't want to bother with actual video recording software.
I might want to get that because a lot of the times I have a thing that can capture from my screen, but it's like blurry. So maybe this would be better. Light screen? That sounds good. Light screen. Maybe I'll look into that.
And number 15 is MSI's Afterburner, which is hardware monitoring software that lets you tweak settings to your heart's content. It doesn't require an MSI card either.
But I have an MSI card.
It can be used with both AMD and NVIDIA GPUs. The best, most well-known and trusted overclocking software is this, MSI Afterburner. If you want to push your new GPU to the limit, this...
I get the feeling my rig is already brand new. It's probably running well. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll go into overclocking, but I certainly don't think I have to do it right now. What's this?
And number 14 is HW Info, a lightweight program very useful for hardware analysis, monitoring, and reporting. It's unobstructive.
Oh, I have this. That's what I'm using right now, I think, to check my temperatures on my capture and streaming PC to make sure it doesn't overheat because it's so old. Cool. All right. I think we're going to go to the next video. We skimmed through about half of this. All right. Thank you guys for watching. The next part is the final part of DSP versus the Internet, episode 78. I hope that you're enjoying, and I'll see you in the final part.